3 inputs, 13 outputs. Whatever variables we require as inputs, we will be declaring with
Parameter.
whatever variables we are seeing in the output will be declared with.
Data.
Data.
So input variables, output variables. Input variables, output variables. Input variables will be declared with the keyword parameters. Output variables will be declared with the keyword called as data. So first, you should differentiate between the input and output variables. So now I am going to this program. Now, this is the report what we have designed earlier, but we have not printing any data here. If you observe, I am directly printing the customer slip. I am directly printing. I will never print the customer slip without input screen. So to this program, I am copying this program as it is to 7. Copy, copy. Now I want a input screen. I want a input screen. So how to design input screen? Change. So now in my input screen, I want parameters p underscore whatever name you want you can give. So bill number. I want one field for bill number. Parameters. I want one field for bill date. Bill date. Bill date. Parameters. I want one field for customer ID. Customer ID. We have not declared the data type set. We have to declare the correct data types. So now bill number, as of now I want it as a number. Example of length 10, type number, bill numbers. Now here I want type. What is the data type here?
D.
D. D.
D.
So along with D, there is one more data type for date. You can use D or you can use DATS also. You can use D or you can use DATS. There is one type called as DATS. Now what is the difference between these two? I will show you. So I will take date 1 as D. I want only one field, but I have to show you the difference. I am taking two tags. Now customer ID also I am taking of length 10, type N. Now these data types we have to declare based on my table. In my table we will create some customer tables, sales tables, etc. How you have created the tables, in the same way we have to declare it here. So once again, next week I will, while explaining this complete program, I will revise that also once again. So right now, today I want to create a screen. Now check the syntax. So date 1 up to 8 characters. So I will say build date, BAL date. Check. Now activate. Execute. So I will get a selection screen. So how to design a selection screen? Selection screen will be designed by using the parameters keyword. When I execute, I got the parameters. Now if you say this build date, we are not getting any help here. This was very old data type. But if I use DATS, I am getting this help so that I can choose the date. I can select it and choose the date. But if I use type D, I am not getting that help. So using DATS is better than D. D is also date data type, DATS is also date data type only. But if I use DATS, I will get the help. If I use D, I am not getting the help. But the length is same, 0 1 0 1. I have to enter manually. But here I can directly choose whatever date I want. So whichever you are comfortable, use it. So from now onwards, I will use that's keyword. Then that. So I want a date field. Done. Now there is no rule that you have to declare all the parameters in the starting only. Wantedly, I am declaring one parameter in the last. In the last, I am declaring one more parameter in between. In between, somewhere here I am declaring. So I declared three parameters, three input screens. Check the syntax. Check the syntax. Activate. Even though wherever you declare a variable, when you execute, when you execute, what the system will do is, Lakshmi, mute yourself. So when I execute a program, what the system will do is, it will scan the complete program from first to last. It will scan the complete program and declare all the variables in the starting only. Even though you declared this variable in the last, programmatically you declare this variable in the last. But what SAP will do is, first thing it will do is, it will collect all the variables and declare it. So even though you declare this in the last, when I execute it, you will see this in the screen only, starting only. Even though you declare in the last, it will declare it, it will show the screen in the starting only with all the fields. So what we suggest is, instead of declaring wherever you want, if you declare your variables in the starting, if you declare all the variables in the starting, the program will work much better, much faster way. Even you don't declare it in the starting also, what my SAP will do is, first it will collect all the variables and declare it, and then on it will go to the program execution. So even though you don't declare, SAP will declare it like this only. So it's a better practice to declare all the variables in the starting. Activate, execute. So once the screen is ready, once the screen is ready, so my screen is ready, but here it's not that much good. So what we have to do, we have to change, go to text elements, selection text, go to selection text and maintain the labels, whatever, bill date, bill number, customer number. So the client will give you how he wants the screen. Example, reports. I am opening two reports. So this is report one. In this report one, the client is asking you a screen, desired screen layout. What descriptions he want, he has given plant, customer, order type, date. So you declare your variable with whatever name you want. But what label I want this label. How to put these two parameters side by side, we have not seen it. This we will be seeing in the coming classes. One step at a time we are going. So we have seen how to design a basic simple screen. Now if you see one more program, if you see this program, how he wants the screen. He wants the screen like this, a bigger screen. See with how many fields he wants. All these fields: company code, customer number, vendor number, accounting clerk, posting date, key date, the descriptions the client is giving, what descriptions he want. What should be the title of the program? Aging report. Title. These are the descriptions. Still, we have not seen how to design radio buttons, etc. So there are a lot of things to learn. Everything we cannot learn on one day. So we are learning two topics or three topics per day. And you have to remember these topics. Now, my input program is ready. My input screen is ready. Activate it, come back, execute it. So I have not activated it. Activate. Come back, execute it. So bill number, bill date, customer number. Input screen is ready. Based on the input, if I execute, I should get the output. So here, the bill number and bill date should come. This data will come from the database. But to get the data from the database, we require some placeholders. After getting it, we have to store somewhere. Now you are getting something from the shop. After getting it from the shop, you will put on a plate and then eat it. Directly, you are not eating it. You are putting it on some plate. So there should be some placeholder where I can place it. So here, these variables will come from the database. But from the database, I am getting the data to the program. Where shall I store? So we require some output variables. So output variables also we will declare in the starting only. Data, how many variables we want, already we have analyzed it here. So one variable for bill number, one variable for bill date. So we are naming variables with v underscore. Now there is no rule that you have to put v here, but to distinguish between input variables, output variables. Input variables we are calling it as parameters. Output program variables we are calling it as v underscore, v underscore bill number, bill number, v underscore bill date, v underscore customer id, v underscore customer name, v underscore customer city. So customer id, customer name, customer city, customer phone, v underscore phone. Your variables, your wish, whatever name you want, you can give. V underscore serial number, v underscore material, v underscore qty quantity, v underscore unit, v underscore price, v underscore currency. So now we have to declare the type. So bill number, I want 10 length, which is a number. Bill date, bill date, type DATS or type D. Customer ID, of length 10, of length 10, type N. Customer name, of 30, type C. Customer city, whatever is the length you declared in your table, that will come. Phone number, of 10, type N. Serial number, of type I. Serial number, type integer, type integer. Material, of 20, of 20, type C. Quantity, quantity, of 15, not required. Type P, decimals 2. Units, of 3, type C. Price, type P, decimals 2. Currency, of 5, type C. Check the syntax. Now there is no rule that I have to put the type statements here only. So if you see here, the field is ending here, but I kept the type statement. I gave a gap. So your program should be neat and tidy. If someone sees your program, he should understand clearly. Now we are having a house. In a house, we are having cupboards. In the cupboards, you can dump everything. No one will go inside your cupboard and see. But if you want to take something, you should know where it is. If you arrange everything properly, you can easily find out the what you want. So whenever there is some problem, error, we have to identify the error. If you write your code neatly, identifying the error will become easy. If you make your program clumsy, you yourself cannot understand the programs. How someone else can understand your program? So present your program neat and tidy. So if you see here, wherever the field is ending, irrespective, I'm starting the type here. So if someone sees your code, it should look neat and tidy. So now check the syntax, activate it. So I have declared the program variables. Program variables, you cannot see it on the input screen. You won't see it on the input screen. Execute. So you are not able to see on the input screen. So data variables, we will see only in the output screen. But we have not kept that variables in the output screen yet. We have to keep it. So beside the bill number, what will come? Beside the bill date, what will come? Beside the bill number, what will come? Beside the bill number, I'm taking this bill number and just beside the bill number. So I'm writing bill number here. I'm putting just beside it, right? V underscore bill number. Now I'm not giving any position. Why? Because after the colon, I want the bill number. Similarly, after the date, write V underscore bill date. Bill date. Similarly, after customer ID, I am putting a colon. After the colon, write V underscore customer ID. V underscore customer ID. Right. Next field is cust name, data. Right. V underscore cust name, city. Right. V underscore city. I gave city or customer city. I say cust city. Customer city. Okay. Right. Right. V underscore phone. Serial number. Serial number. Right. V underscore serial number. Material. Right. So what name I gave there? Write the same name. Material. Right. Not here. Here inside the data. Inside the data. So here. Serial
Sir,
number.
can you check the phone
Right.
number,
V
sir?
underscore. It should be postal code, but I declared as phone number. We can change it later.
Okay.
Material. Right. Quantity. Right. Unit. Unit or units? Unit. Right. Price. Right. V underscore currency. Currency. Now if you see here, these variables, I am not giving any positions because after the colon I want the data, after the pipe symbol I want the data, after the pipe symbol I want the data. So when to give position, when not to give position. Some cases forward slash position is coming. Some cases only position is coming. Some cases we are not getting any position. Now check the syntax. Cust S is missing. Check the syntax. Period is missing. As of now, I won't get any data now. I will get blank data now. execute. If I execute simply, I'm executing it. I'm getting blank data, zeros, zeros, zeros. Wherever numbers are there, it is showing zeros. So now, here if you see quantity 0.00, 0.00, now it's my responsibility to get the data and fill these variables. So how to get the data from the database? We have to learn some SQL statements. So before going to SQL statements, there are some more fundamentals we require, programming fundamentals like conditions, if conditions. So we have to see that. So today's topic is just to tell you, identify. There are two types of variables. Two types of variables: input variables, output variables. When you are the developer of the program, first you should keep your program in your mind and identify, okay, what variables are required. So date is required. Like this, you have to identify, okay, in the input screen, I require these fields. In the output screen, I require these fields. Input variables will be declared with parameters. Output variables will be declared with data keyword. Even after explaining like this, one of your senior, after 6 days of this topic, he's saying, sir, I'm confused with this data and parameters. I'm confused when to use parameters, when to use data. The problem is, first thing, people are not regular. Second thing, some people are regular. They are switching on time. After 5 minutes, they are going in sleep mode. From 5 minutes only, the whole night out, they will be watching their mobiles, etc. So in the morning, by the time they come to the classroom, they will be in sleep mode. Some people, they are concentrating on the screen, on phone, screen, phone, half knowledge. So when I cover the theory, whatever I'm explaining in the theory part, we can't put everything in the notes part. If I start giving whatever I explain in the theory, if I start writing it in the notes, there is no end for the notes. By the time you go to the course, you will see one Bible book or Bhagavad Gita book. That much size book will be there. Which one will you prepare? So whatever is important for interview point of view, that we are giving notes. So you have to listen what I am trying to explain also. Ah, sir is explaining only theory. I require only program. Only program is also too dangerous. You require both. Why we are using this? I am explaining and using it. So that is also important. Now one person is there in your previous batch. Nearly 3.5 months course is over. There is no single day which where he has listened to the complete class. He is regular, completely regular, but there is no single day he has continuously listened to the class. After 10 minutes, his network will get disconnected. Again, he will try to connect, and after 10 minutes, he will log in. And again, after 10 minutes, it will get disconnected. Now, if there is a problem, now I will also have internet problem, but not throughout the month. Once in a while, because of the road activities or rains, etc., it will impact. Once in a while, your network will get disconnected. If it is getting disconnected daily, you have to immediately change your internet provider. Take one good internet connection. In the future, you have to lifelong work from. Many companies are ready to give lifelong work from homes. If you got the work from home option, you have to connect to your client. You cannot tell my network is slow. We have to find an alternative also. So make sure you take a good internet connection if your network is getting disconnected regularly. So at least that much you have to spend to get returns. So now I am opening one more program, program number 8. Now I want to write a calculator program where I want three options: plus or minus or into or divide. Plus or minus or into or divide. I want a program which can calculate these four options. So how many input variables, how many output variables?
Two
Calculator
input
program.
two input
Two
one
input
output.
variables. Don't be in a hurry to answer. Remember one thing. Now I am entering number one, 10. I am entering number two, 2. What I am expecting?
Six input variables.
12.
6.
Can be any.
Why 12? Did I said add it? Did I said addition program, multiplication program, or did I said calculator program?
No, sir.
So these two numbers, I am not Balkrishna. So in my brain, I'm saying add. Automatically, my program is adding. My program cannot read my mind. So I have to give some input to that. So at any point of time to a calculator, how many inputs I can give here? Out of these four, how many I can give here? At one
Only one.
point,
One.
I should say either plus or minus or into or divide. So ideally speaking, we will have some buttons add, multiply, divide, etc. Even though you are calling these as buttons, these are also some inputs only. You will give some input. Selecting is an input. You are giving input. You are giving two numbers and plus or minus or into or divide any one only. But as of now, we have not seen how to create a buttons as of now. So we have to give the option also as input. So how many inputs are required? How many inputs are required? Enter number one input. Enter number two, one more input. Enter what choice you want. You want plus or minus or into or divide. So how many variables are there?
Three.
Three.
Three input,
Three inputs. How many output variables?
one
One.
output.
One. One.
So how many parameters we have to declare?
Four. Three.
Three parameters,
Parameters.
one data.
Three
Three
parameters.
parameters. One data.
Yes. So calculator program. Type executable. Save. Local object. So once in a while, I will ask some questions because if you interact, you won't go into sleep mode. If you don't interact one-sided, you will feel sleepy. So now parameters, whatever name you want, you can give. I am calling as pnum1. Type integer. Parameters pnum2. Type integer. I will never start big programs on the starting because many people are new to programming. Even though you are a BTech MCA students, many people don't learn programs. They'll mug up two, three programs and complete their college days. So we are assuming that everyone at zero level. So slowly we'll start with small programs. Slowly we'll increase the complexity. So now parameters choice type C. Single character plus or minus or into or divide is a single character. So I've taken choice. Now one data variable v underscore result type I. So first whatever the client is asking, the client will explain you the requirement like this only. I want a calculator where I want to enter two inputs and I can do some plus or minus or into or divide. So design the program. So what is the client input? How many input screen in the input screen? How many input variables I have to declare? How many output variables I have to declare? Understanding the requirement. So the first step we call it as understanding of the requirement. Now second step is technical design. Okay, I will create a screen like this with these many inputs and these many outputs. Once the user enters these inputs, what shall I do? Okay, but as of now, we are not writing the technical design. Technical design is nothing but algorithm. Algorithm. Step one, design the screen. Step two, if user selects plus in the choice, what we have to do? Else, if user selects minus, what to do? If user selects into, what to do? If user selects divide, what to do? So now here, what shall I do? What shall I do? V underscore result is equal to pnum1 plus
P underscore choice.
plus p underscore num2 num2 right v underscore result. I am writing the result. So I have four options now: plus, minus, into, divide. Minus, into, divide. I have not completed the program yet. Still, there is something wrong in the program. So what is wrong here? So let's see this.
Need to declare the radius.
Now I have 10, 20, 20. I am saying plus. Now my intention is to add these two numbers. Add these two numbers. So when I execute, I want only addition part. But it is adding, it is subtracting, it is multiplying, it is dividing it and giving me the result. All the results it is giving. I don't want all the results. I don't want all the results. When I select plus, it should work with plus. If I select minus, it should work with minus. Example, in a screen, if you see a screen have many buttons. But when I say circle, it will draw only the circle. When I say star, it will give you only the option of star. But behind this PowerPoint program, there are many programs are there. But whichever I select, only that piece should execute. Every button will have small piece of code. When I select this one, only that piece should execute. Right now, my program is executing all the parts. All the parts. When I should execute this? When I should execute this?
If user select what plus
Choice based on choice.
So, what is the
Condition.
statement you have given?
If we put
What is
condition. Condition.
what the statement you have given?
If P
What is
choice
the
is
statement? If
If choice is
if
equal to
if so here the same thing. If the choice is equal to plus, if choice equal to plus, and if. So whenever user gives plus, execute this step and end it. If choice equal to
choice
minus, and if choice equal to into, and if choice equal to divide, and if. So we have to use if conditions in the program. Without if conditions, we cannot complete the program. We have to use if conditions. So just say pretty printer, your code will be aligned. No need to select pretty printer. If you don't select also, not a problem. But if you see your code is aligned neatly, yes, it will make your code neat and tidy. That's it. So there is no special importance for this pretty printer. If you don't do it also, the program will execute in the same way. So now what I have done is I have done some conditions here. So we are learning something called as introduction, conditional constructs. So in conditional constructs, we have seen the first condition, we have something called as if condition. Second one, we have something called as case. So when to use if condition, when to use case statement. I'm just giving introduction to if statement. So the syntax is if some condition and if do this, do this. So whenever some condition is satisfied, so here my condition is choice is equal to plus, choice is equal to minus. If the choice is plus, it will go inside. If the choice is minus, it will go inside. If the choice is into, it will go inside. If the choice is divided, it will go inside. If the condition fails, it won't go inside. So here I have four conditions. Check the syntax, activate, execute. Execute. Now I am giving 10 and 2 and I gave into which condition, how many conditions the program will execute.
One condition.
all programs.
The
all
program
conditions
will
will
execute, the
start.
program will execute all the four conditions. But out of four conditions, only one is true. So the program will go inside only one. If I execute it, I am getting only 20. But how does my program know that I should go directly into this condition? It don't know. So what the program will do? The program will execute from top to bottom. So it will come here and check, is the choice is plus? No, the choice is not plus. So what it will do? It will bypass it. It will jump to the next statement. It won't go inside. If it condition is not satisfied, it will jump to the next condition. If this condition is not satisfied, it will jump to next condition. Now this condition is satisfied. This condition is satisfied. So it is going inside this and executing it and coming out. After coming out, again it is coming and checking whether this condition is satisfied. So in your program, how many conditions are there? Every condition will be validated. Whichever condition is satisfied, the program will execute that condition. Whichever condition is not satisfied, it will ignore. But until it executes, it don't know whether it is success or failure. So all the four conditions will be tested. Whichever is success, that will be executed. So in this case, it will execute only into. So now, what is the roles of the developer? Roles of the developer.
Sir, the
First role.
result will not be overwritten, sir. Uh,
Now, why it will overwrite? We are using forward slash,
no,
right?
no, not here, sir. While it is calculating, it is storing the
No.
same result in the same variable. Sorry,
At
result
any
in
point
same
of
variable.
time, at any point of time, how many conditions it will execute? How many conditions will go inside?
Yeah, not here, sir. In the
Only one
previous.
condition.
At any point of time, only one condition will be executed.
Okay.
So if you are giving add, only the result will have the add result. It won't go inside, right? If it goes inside, it will be overwriting. But it's not going inside, right? Now, so understand. We call it as FS analysis or FS study. FS study or FS analysis. Now, now I am explaining you the requirement. But in real time, the client will explain the requirement to the functional team. Functional team will write a document to you. Now, if your functional team is beside you only, that means if your functional team and you are sitting together, whenever you have a doubt, you can directly go to the functional team and ask. But in my case, my functional team is there in US, we are there in India. They are working in night zone, we are working in the morning zone. My office timings is from 11 to 9, 11 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So now the clients around my 6:37, they will come. So we have that overlap time of 2 to 3 hours, overlapping time we call it as. So whatever doubts you want to clarify, you have to clarify in that 2 3 hours. Now I can't sit till the evening, sir. My client will come and explain me, then I will start. No, the client is sending me one functional spec and says start doing on it, start working on it, and he will leave. So morning by the time I log in, I will get that functional spec. I have to study, understand the requirement on my own. No one will explain you. A functional spec will have all the details, whatever is required. I want a input screen like this. I want a output screen like this. Functional spec itself is explanation of requirement. So many people will say, sir, I will get the functional spec. Can you please explain me the requirement? If you study 4 5 times, it's English document. If you study 4 5 times, you can understand that English. So study the document. Second, if any doubts are there, FS review. Review. Have a call with your client and clarify your doubts. For every spec, we don't require a review. If you want, you can. If any doubts now, in the review also, if you keep a meeting and ask them, explain the complete requirement. Some people are very good enough to explain completely detailedly. But maximum cases, the functional team will be doing multiple tasks. So if they are busy with some other task, they won't explain completely. If they ask what doubts you have, tell me, I will explain the doubts. So it's your responsibility to ask the questions. If you don't ask the questions, you will be the loser. So different mentalities of people will be there. You have to work with different types of people. So ask, prepare your questions, whatever doubts you have. Never assume anything. As a developer, we should not assume. If you have a doubt, clarify with your functional team. So daily, we will have daily calls around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock daily, so that we can clarify the doubts. Now, if everything is done, we call it as technical design. Technical design. It is like an algorithm, but how to prepare the technical design, we'll see later. Now, after the technical design is okay, indirectly, you are assuming that okay, I will design an input screen like this, I will design an output screen like this. Like this, you are showing to the client a rough diagrams. If you feel okay, he will accept it. If he say no, no, I don't want like this, I want to change the screen like this, he will tell. So we don't directly develop the code. We will design algorithm, screenshots, and keep it. So now, if everything is okay, we will do the development. So right now, my development is over. My development is over. Once the development is over, we have to do the testing. So the first level of testing should be done by developer. So the developer has to do the unit testing, regression testing, speed testing, integration testing. So the developer has to do all these testings. Once all the testing is over, then we have to prepare some documentation. But before documenting it, like this is like a manual, how your program works. If I select button 1, what will happen? If I select button 2, what will happen? Like this, we'll prepare some document. And before preparing this document, we have to test our code. So now I'm testing my code. Execute. Execute. 10, 2, plus, plus. What I should get in the output?
12. 12.
12.
I got 12. 10, 2, minus. What should I get in the output?
8.
8. 8. 10, 2 into what I should get? 20. 10 divided by 2. What I should get?
5.
10 plus 10 plus minus 2.
8. Minus 8.
12.
Not minus 8. 10 is greater. 8. So if you say minus 10, minus 10, minus 2. SAP will always represent 2 in the forward. I can enter like this, but SAP will override it and put the minus in the front. Minus 10 plus minus 2.
Minus 12.
Minus 12.
Minus 8. Minus 8.
8. Minus of minus. So
Yes.
both are minus only. Both are minus only. So it is adding.
Minus 12.
Minus of minus.
minus 8.
This.
Minus
Answer
8.
should be minus
8.
execute. Minus 8. Like this, test with different combinations. These are called as positive cases. In a unit test, positive cases. So positive case is success. Now negative case. Negative case does not mean minus values. Okay. Now if I give A, my system won't allow me to enter A. But what I'm doing, I'm entering 10, I'm entering 2, and I'm giving A here. A. Invalid value here. So what happens? My program is not doing anything. But it should give a message at least. Invalid choice or something it should give. So my program is not handling negative cases right now. Now before going to the negative cases, forget about negative cases. First, can you say that my program will work for all positive cases? If I give correct data, will my program work? Here, I can't. My integer variable won't allow me to enter characters. So definitely I can enter numbers. Numbers only. Now I am assuming that I'm giving correct values choices here. Will my program work for all correct values? Yes or no?
Sir, if you don't give any values in pin and in variables, number value variables,
If I don't give anything, it will take it as 0 by default. 10 plus 0 is a 0. 10 plus 0 is 10. So if you don't give anything indirectly, that means 0. Empty. 0 plus 0, 0. So it is giving some output.
Sir, without
So
giving
if I,
choice, sir.
now that will come under no data case. So first we have to check if I give correct inputs. Condition, if I give correct inputs, will my program work for all cases? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Rule 1. Rule
Yes.
1.
Yes.
If your program does not work for positive cases, if your program is not working correctly for correct inputs, is it necessary to check negative cases?
No.
No, sir.
No. So first we have to complete positive cases.
Positive
So
cases.
now, will my program work correctly if I enter all the values correctly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If yes, then only I have to go to negative cases. Now I am giving 10 and 0 and I am giving divide. 10 divided by 0, what is it?
Invalid.
Infinity. It's not
Infinite.
invalid, it's infinite. Can we write infinite?
No.
No,
No.
sir.
The
Symbol.
program don't know.
No, no.
The program don't know what to do. So what is happening? Division by 0 error. Now I'm opening a calculator. And have you ever tried this in your calculator? Any value divided by 0 equal to what it is giving?
Divided
Cannot
by zero.
divide. No.
Divide by zero.
A clear cut description is giving. Cannot divide by 0. Division rule. This is not related to programming. This is mathematical rule. In a mathematical rule, we should never divide anything by 0 because it will give infinity. We cannot write infinity. Okay, we have symbols, but machines don't know what are the symbols I should write. So the machines don't know what to do. So it is giving some dump. We call this as error. Runtime error, also called as short dump. SHORT, short DUMP, dump. This is very bad programming. So your program is not working correctly for correct values only. So 10 is a valid value. 0 is a valid number. 0 is a valid number. If I give plus, it will work perfectly. If I give minus, it will work perfectly. If I give into, it will work perfectly. If I give divide, it is not working. So one case is failing. Which case?
Divided by.
Divided by. So come to your program and we have to correct that case. We have to correct this case, divide case. Rest all are working perfectly. Divide case is not working. So what shall I do? Whenever number 2 is 0, if p underscore num2 equal to 0, I will write cannot divide by 0 else and if. So type 1 if conditions, we type 1 if some condition and if. But some cases we have to use type 2. What is the syntax of type 2? What is the syntax?
But if
If
nested if
some condition,
condition do this,
this, else,
else,
else, this alternative plan. Now let's assume you are going to your friend's place. So your friend is staying in the next street. You went to his house. He is not there. His mother said he will come after 3 hours or 4 hours. What you will do? Come back and after 3 4 hours you can go. Yes or no? Now his mother said that he will come tomorrow. Will you wait there?
no, sir.
Come back and go. Now again, you are going to your friend's place, but from Hyderabad to Vizag. Now his mother said, he's not there, he will come tomorrow. Will you come back and go?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
So, both the cases, we are meeting a friend only. But in case one, we will come back and we can go. But in case two, we have to wait. Because again, taking a journey of 12 to 15 hours back is not suggestible. So, program to program, how we handle the cases will be different. Some cases, if and if is enough. Some cases, if, else, and if. So, here my program is not able to judge what to do when zero is coming. So, I have handled if, else, and if. So if something is going wrong, do this, else do this. If user enters num2, right, I cannot divide. If the user enters some value in num2, go here and execute. Check the syntax, activate, test it. So whenever you do the changes, even though you are doing a small change, again we have to do the testing for all cases. Example, again give the value 10, again give the value 0 and see how it is behaving with plus, how it is behaving with minus. Like this, you have to test all. Right now, my problem is with divide. So 10 divided by 0, 10 divided by 0, execute, cannot divide by 0. 10 divided by some value, execute. So I'm getting some value. So now, will my program work for all positive cases? Positive cases. That means
Yes,
if I
sir.
enter correct values, will it
Yes,
work?
sir.
Yes. Yes. 1 minute. Lock कर दे.
Yes, sir.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
With the top
Okay.
values, sir.
But
10
zero
divided by
divided by
3.
some value. Means
0 divided by some value. Before that. Before that. 10 divided by 3. 10 is a valid number. 3 is a valid number. So what I'm expecting?
Mm,
3.33.
Decimal
decimal.
decimal numbers.
Execute.
Decimals 3 point.
There is a point.
Rounding off.
Sir, sir, 0.33 only, sir. What you will get for 50 paise, sir? Now, India 0.50 is no value. So you are going to a petrol bunk. If it is 71.33 paise, you are giving 72 rupees. You are ignoring 97 paise. But imagine you are in US, you are ignoring 0.50, $0.50. $0.50 in Indian currency is almost 40 rupees. 0.50 dinars, nearly 80 rupees. 0.50 is nearly 80 rupees or 90 rupees. So point has a value. So we should not ignore the points. In addition, in the calculation, the decimals plays a major role. We are designing a software for all over the country. So we should not ignore the decimals. So what data type shall I take here for the result? Shall I take integer?
P. P. Packed.
No,
Packed into.
So packed
Packed
decimal
into.
P,
decimal.
decimals too.
Decimal two.
So the result variable should always be decimal only, not integer. So still it was wrong. Now I'm correcting it. So now you test with 0 also. 0 divided by anything. 0 divided by 7. You now it will show you the decimals. Earlier, whatever you say, it will round up to zeros only. So what happened? Now let me say 10 divided by 7 divide 1.43.
Zero by
1.4. 0 by 3. 0 divided by 3. Execute. It's not showing. We have to
it's
check
it,
why.
it it's taking only two places of decimal, sir. It will.
Yes, that's the reason it's not showing.
That's
Now
yes, sir.
let's take 5 decimals. Execute. 0 divided by 3. Divide. Execute. Still it's not showing.
Sir, it's zero only. It's correct only, sir. The
0
zeros divided by
divided by
anything
anything
is
is
zero.
0. Yeah. Yeah. Correct. So now will my program work for positive cases? If I enter correct values, will I get the correct result? Yes or no? Think. Till previously you are saying yes for everything. Now you are thinking.
Yes, sir.
So this thinking is what the developer require. Okay, what case might have failed? What case might have failed? So in every scenario we have to think positively. But in program, first we have to think negatively. If the user enters wrong value, what shall I do? So right now, if I enter positive values, all correct values, will my program work or not? We have handled the decimal issue. We have handled the divide by zero issue. Anything else is there in mathematics?
Sir,
Inputs
we are
also
not
in decimals if we
decimals.
give,
We are
sir.
not tested with that.
Correct. Inputs also decimals. We have taken integer value. How can integer value take decimals? Integer values cannot take decimals. So integer, the inputs also should be type P, decimals too. So first the developer should understand what data type he should use. The client won't tell, the client don't know any data types. So the developer has to take the judgment, the developer's decision, what data type he will take. If you take it as type integer, you are restricting to rounding values only. But if I want to add 10 point something into 11 point something, it won't work. So now my program will work for decimals also. So now I will enter 10.20, 11.30 plus execute. Sorry, I have changed my settings. So it is 10 point. Now if you enter point, it will throw error. For your default settings, it will be comma. So 10 point execute. So 21.50. It is summing up all the values. So now I can say my program will work for all positive cases. Now, if the user enters A, I should throw some error. So, which case I will use, whether type 1 or type 2?
Type 2, sir.
2.
If
Type
user
1.
enters,
2. Sorry.
now in type 1, we can only handle positive cases. If user enters plus or minus or into or divide, I should sum. Else, I should throw some message.
Yes, sir.
So I'm telling you the statement, English statement. If user enters plus or minus or into or divide, we have to do the addition. Else, else,
Give error message.
Message.
come back. If choice equal to plus or choice equal to minus or choice equal to into or choice equal to divide. If any of this condition is there, plus or minus or into or divide or operator, if this is true or this is true or this is true or this is true, proceed with your calculations. Proceed with your calculations. Else, right, enter a valid choice, plus minus into divide. Check the syntax, activate, execute. Execute. So now give some values here and give some invalid value here. Execute. Sorry, my number 20. Enter a valid choice. So if I give any alphabet, any number, I am giving here 9. 9. What is 9? I don't know. Execute. Invalid choice. But if I give a correct value, it will do the multiplication or division or whatever it should do. It will do and give me the result. So now my program is working for positive cases as well as negative cases. So every program we have to do it like this. So right now, on one day we cannot learn everything. So as of today, we are only covering about this case. Still we have to see these cases one step at a time. So what is the task of the developer? Whatever the client gives, understand. If you have any doubts, review, prepare the design, show to the client. I will design like this, show to the client. If he's okay with the design, develop. Because if you don't show it after designing everything, now you have designed this much big screen. The client said, no, I don't want like this. On your entire effort and time is waste. So we will design something like this and show boss, this is how the input screen will be there, this is how the output screen will be there. Is it okay, or do you want any changes? He will let me know the changes. Once he approve it, then we will develop it. So development. And once we develop, the first level of testing should be done by the developer. Once the developer tests it, the functional team will test it. After the functional team, the client will test it. So what they will do, test it. We none of our business. We have to test all the cases. So that's it for me for today. So today I have just revised the topics of parameters and data keyword once again. How to decide parameters, how to decide input screen, how to decide output screen. What we have done yesterday, the same thing I have revised it. And now today I have introduced if condition. We have only introduced two types. Still some more are there. Now what notes can we give for this one? What notes can we give for this one? If I give the notes also, once you come for the interview, no one will ask you write an essay on if statement, 10 marks. So they will give you some program, and for the program they will ask you to write the code. So let me share this. Tasks of developer. That's it. So just recreate without seeing this program. Without seeing this program, recreate the
Then
program. Yes.
can we sorted the block size here?
Which block?
In number one, two, any blocks this.
What do you mean by increase the block size? I can't. Your question is not clear to me.
Maybe to shorten that block. Uh,
This gap.
Size basically.
This gap.
Yes,
This
input
gap.
field.
input
Input
gap
field.
Design
also.
field.
Smaller numbers. Execute this. Okay.
Okay.
So you can reduce the size, but ideally, do we know that what length of number the user will enter? So that's the reason we are giving maximum default. If you want to reduce, you can reduce. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Catch you
Sir,
tomorrow. Yes.
instead of that, you can write checkbox, additional block.
We can, but still we have not explained the checkbox radio buttons, right?
Okay,
So
okay, sir.
today's concept is to explain about if conditions.
Okay,
So
okay, sir.
if I explain checkboxes and if conditions on the same day, it will confuse you.
Okay,
So
okay, sir.
checkbox we'll see later.
Okay, sir.
So today's main aim is about conditional constructs.
Okay,
Conditional
sir. Okay, sir.
constructs we have seen if condition. Still we have
Yes,
to
sir.
see some more. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Oh,
Thank you.